Someone asked me, what is Judaism? Meaning, what makes you Jewish? Is Judaism a race, a religion, a nation? What is it? Which is not an easy question to answer. I can tell you what it's not. Is it a race? Well, the fact is that in Jewish tradition, Jewish law, as it stands today, anyone of any race, any ethnicity, any nation can become Jewish. You go through a conversion, full commitment to Judaism, a full commitment to the Jewish people, and with proper procedures in a Jewish court, you are Jewish. No matter what color your skin is, no matter what language you speak, no matter which country you come from, you could be Jewish. So clearly it's not a race. Is it a religion, a faith group? Well, it's interesting because in the sense that according to Jewish law, even a Jew who's completely abandoned Judaism, even a Jew who's completely secular, a Jew who has even taken on a foreign religion, a Jew who's a complete apostate, a Jew who's done every sin in the book. I'll give you some names later, I'm joking. But even a Jew like that is still 100% Jewish. The Talmud says, Yisrael, afapi shechata, Yisrael hu, a Jew, even though he has sinned, is still Jewish. And as Rashi points out, the great commentator, he says, Shem kedushatan aleim, their sanctity is still there. So which means it's not a classic faith group. For example, there are other religions where you cannot be born into that religion. You are born, I guess, into a family that professes that religion, but until you actually profess that religion, you're not religious. And if you abandon it, you're not a member of that religion anymore. With Judaism, it's not true. You're still Jewish, even if you have not fulfilled your responsibilities as a Jew, even if you've abandoned Judaism. It's a tragedy, it's terrible, but you're still Jewish. So therefore, it's not a classic faith either. So it's not a race, it's not a faith. Is it a family? Well, you could say it's a family. If you are born to a Jewish mother, you are automatically 100% Jewish. Partially that's because it is part of a family group. You are in this family group called the Jews. Although it's not an interesting family. You go to the Western Wall and you can see people at the Western Wall who are part of our family. You can see Ethiopian Jews who are black. We can see Syrian Jews who look very different from Moroccan Jews, who look quite different from German Jews, Jews of Polish origin. You have Jews from England, you have Jews from Spain, you have Jews from Portugal, we have Jews from Yemen. And all those Jews look very, very different. They speak different languages. We have different types of food that we eat. So to see us as an ethnicity is also problematic. We're not really an ethnic group because we have so many differences. Of course, you could say the one thing that does unify us, as Rav Saajagon, great Jewish philosopher of the 10th century, put it, our nation is a nation by virtue of its Torah, meaning our belief system, the Torah, is actually what does unify all those different ethnic and racial groups and family groups. Although, as I mentioned, strictly speaking, a Jew who does not believe in the Torah is still Jewish. But nevertheless, I think we can probably accept Rav Saajagon's understanding that the one thing that unites these various races, ethnicities, families, geographical regions and languages is this Torah that is our heritage. Whether a person accepts it or doesn't accept it, whether a person takes parts of it and rejects other parts, whether a person accepts the entire thing, but that is really the heritage that has united us. You could also define us as a nation. We consider ourselves a nation. We have the features of a nation, a country. Even when we were in exile, we had an attachment to the land of Israel. Now we have the land of Israel. A language, the Hebrew language, the one language that has united Jews throughout the centuries. Not Yiddish, not Ladino, not Arabic, not English, but Hebrew. And so in a sense, we are also a nation. And there's certain national characteristics. So we have a specific land, we have a specific language. Those are national characteristics. But what about a Jew who doesn't live in Israel? What about a Jew who doesn't speak Hebrew? Still Jewish. So it's easier to define what Judaism is not than what it is. As I said, not a race. Just look around you at the Western Wall or anywhere and you'll see no one specific race. Not an ethnicity, because there are many, many different ethnicities within the Jewish people. And also not a race and an ethnicity because someone can convert into Judaism. Is it a faith group? Not necessarily, because you can never convert out. You're Jewish, whether you like it or not. Born Jewish, whether you abandon Judaism, still Jewish. So it's not totally a faith group. Are we united by our common heritage? I think the answer to that is yes. But not everyone knows that heritage or believes in their heritage. One of the things we're trying to do here is get people to know their heritage. But are we a nation? I think that's probably very close to a definition, that we are a nation united by a common heritage. And so again, I don't know if I've answered the question. I may have answered what we're not. And I think to have an answer that we are a nation or a family is probably the most accurate. A family and a nation with a common heritage, I think, is probably the most accurate answer. That is what makes a Jew Jewish, and that is what Judaism is. Thank you very much.